otherwise known as Miss Ann, and I work in dining. Some of you know me from Common Grounds, some of you know me from Starbucks, and I am currently at Last Drop Cafe. So, introductions. I want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for putting workers on your agenda. You have no idea what that means to the workers here. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
We all thank you.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to give you a little information because I don't know what you all know. So bear with me, and if you have any questions, you can ask me afterwards. I wrote it because I didn't want to be misquoted. So, bear with me, okay? I think you'll find it rather interesting. I was reading a brochure last week published by Vanderbilt University titled Integrity in Action. The first statement in this brochure says, and I quote, "Our organization believes that our employees are our most valuable asset." So, I had to ask myself, what would that principle look like when it was applied to a real workplace? I think most of you would agree with me that if employees are considered Vanderbilt's most valuable asset, they would be paid above average for the jobs they perform. Does everybody kind of agree with that? Isn't this one of the biggest ways employers show appreciation and demonstrate value for workers throughout the whole United States? Yes? You with me on that? Okay. Well, it's been my experience that this is not always the case at Vanderbilt. I'll use myself to begin the illustration in dining. I'm a full-time employee in dining and have been for 6 years. My current wage is $11.11 an hour. As printed in the Vanderbilt Hustler last fall, this hourly salary should calculate to over $22,000 a year. Okay, the reality of all this is really different. My 2011 W-2 tax statement from Vanderbilt clearly states that my wages last year were $13,826.95. It's an $8,000 difference from my projected yearly salary. Okay, you with me? Everybody with me? Here's an additional fact. About 15% of all dining staff made less than $14,000 last year. 15% made less than $14,000 last year. Why? The reason is simple. Out of about 230 of dining workers, 170 workers work 8.5 months. Between 8.5. Why? Well, since 2008, Vanderbilt has instituted a PYS position policy, partial year schedule. PYS employees are ineligible to work fall break, winter break, spring break, and summers. At this time, just about 50% of all dining workers are PYS.
Wow.
Another 25% of the workers who are considered full year are laid off. People take the layoff, and making it work isn't all that easy. Remember, we are also responsible for paying our portion of our health care during the summer, and this can add up to $700 for 3 months. We have monthly bills, we have kids, we have other responsibilities, and it gets tough. Okay, who does get to work in the summer? Well, we have another system in place. We have job categories, or classifications as they call it. They go from 1 to 6, 6 being the highest. Level 6 people work. It's like the domino effect. 6 bumps the 5, bumps the 4s, bumps the 3s, bumps all the way down to 1. So, by the time you get to level 3, and I'm a level 3, your chances of working are really slim. They look really bad. And level 1 people don't have a chance. They don't have a chance. So what happens is the majority of level 1 people are laid off. It doesn't matter if a level 6 person is performing at a 3 or a 1 position. Time in dining is not always a factor. It is sometimes. I'm not going to say that's in stone, but it's not always a factor. For summer work, job classification is a factor. And the same holds true for assigned hours in the summer. Number of years in dining does not always correlate with how many hours you work. As Miss Mary just stated, that's her experience. Okay, enough of the problem for a minute here. What are some of the possible solutions? Because I'm very solution-oriented. Obviously, and as you all well know me, I make it happen. Just like the other 200 of us every day. Obviously, dining cannot absorb all of us in the summer. Its main client base, our customers, you guys, leave. But Vanderbilt can, if they wanted to, put us to work for the summer. Vanderbilt employs over 23,000 people. Vanderbilt has extensive connections with hundreds of agencies and businesses in the Nashville community. Vanderbilt is ranked #1 in teaching, #2 in nursing. And you're going to tell me nobody can figure out how to put 200 people to work for 3 months.
Yeah.
For real. You know, or maybe just nobody really cares about us.
That's it.
Okay? Another solution, like Mary said, would be for dining workers to collect unemployment during the 3-month summer layoff period. Last year, all unemployment claims were systematically denied, whether the claim was for 5 weeks, 9 weeks, or 3 months. It was not happening, period. The next solution, of course, is for employees to leave Vanderbilt and find employment elsewhere. That's exactly what 25% of dining workers do every year. They don't come back because they can't afford to work here. Okay, how many times have I heard the comment, well, they're just dining workers? And I've heard it, I've read it, I've seen it. Why not let them move up the ladder or go to school and get a better job? Well, I believe this is an extremely limited perception of dining workers, and I need to change that perception right now. Moving up can be more difficult than you would think. Since 90% of all the new job openings are partial year schedule openings, any full year employee who applies for a partial year schedule position of a higher grade will lose all their chances of working a full year. If he or she applies for a full year position of a higher grade classification, he or she goes to the bottom of that classification and is the last to be scheduled for the summer. So, people would rather stay in their current job than risk losing 3 months' work. That's why a lot of people don't move up. As far as education goes, approximately 20% of us in dining have some form of post-secondary education. In addition, and I believe more importantly, there are people with 20, 30, and 40 years experience in the kitchen, on the line, doing the deal. That length of experience is invaluable. We choose to stay in dining for many reasons. It may not be rocket science, but you very well know that those rocket scientists eat really well. There's honor and value in the preparation and serving of food. Food and love are the two most important building blocks for the growth and development of the human body and mind. And let's face it, Vanderbilt students eat far better than most college students. Dining management needs to be commended for creative ideas, new concepts, and far above average menus. Management has won national awards for these ideas. Ideas and concepts are great, but they cannot become real unless someone implements them. We, the workers, implement these ideas. We, the workers, make it all happen. It takes everybody to make it work. We are Vanderbilt. You know, I've been asking people why they stay since I got here 6 years ago. You know, if the pay is so bad and you don't get the respect you deserve, why do you stay? Well, you know, why do I stay? You know, we all ask that. And, you know, some people say they like working with food. Others say they like the benefits and they stay for them. But by far, the majority of dining workers say they stay because of the students. We love the kids, they'll say, or we like the kids, or we want to support the kids, or we like feeding the kids. You know, we love those students. And what a better way to nurture students than with food. So, in closing, I respectfully urge Vanderbilt to concretely implement the concept of employees being their biggest asset.